January feels way too early to be starting seeds, particularly if you're in a cold climate and it's minus 20, 30 degrees outside, combined with a ton of snow. But the truth is that there are some things in cold climates that if you don't start now in January, you will have a smaller version of it in the spring/summer. I don't like to overextend myself at all when it comes to seed starting. I don't like to start things early. So when I tell you something needs to be started in January, it needs to be started in January, and it is last call because I am the queen of procrastination. Trust me. Essentially, when choosing seeds for this January category, we're looking at seeds that have a particularly long vegetative stage. So if you did not know, seeds go through various different stages. They go through seed, seedlings, vegetative growth stages, and then flowering and fruiting. And some of these vegetative growth stages can be extended or longer when compared to other crops. And these are kind of the ones that fall into the January category. A really great example of this is onions and leeks. So these plants don't necessarily need more days to grow. It's actually total number of hours of light, aka day length. So if gardener A starts your leeks or onions here in January, you will have a much larger leek or onion when compared to a gardener who starts them, say, in March. Doesn't mean you can't start them in March. You can, but you won't have a bulb at the end of the day that's anywhere near the size it needs to be. And this is because it takes more hours of light being pushed into the plant to be able to make more substance and ultimately a bigger bulb. So onions are probably the biggest ones, particularly long day onions. And these are classically grown in more northern climates because we tend to have longer days. When we get to the middle of summer, it's not abnormal for it to still be daylight at 9 p.m. at night and then daylight to show up at 4 a.m. It's just the reality of where we live. So long day onions are a great choice to start now in January. You could also go for shallots, started from seed along with leeks. If you're looking to do more storage onions, so things that you can store in your cold rooms or basements or garages during the winter months, then you actually may choose to start those now as well, because that allows you to harvest them long before the days in that get cooler, which allows it to properly dry out and allows for proper storage. Major myth busting here. Everyone always says onions don't like being root bound or being in containers that are too small. It is quite the opposite. Onions actually do enjoy close quarters, so long as it's not putting pressure on the bulb itself, which is not what you're going to encounter prior to planting these outdoors. It is going to be mostly just an elongated, slightly bulbous end, and the roots themselves actually enjoy kind of that tucked in feeling, if you will. So that's why when you sow your onion seeds, classically speaking, you will sow a whole bunch in one tray and there won't be spacing or anything like that taken into consideration because it's not necessary. It's actually a detriment if you were to put one seed per cell with these plants. When it comes to leeks, you also want to start them now, but the real key here is actually to cause them stress. When you cause a leek stress, it gives you more of the white edible portion that you're looking for. So this can come in the form of heat stress, lack of water, tighter conditions, that sort of thing. Experiment and see what works for you, but you don't want to baby these in any way, shape, or form. So these are great for any of those of you who are not interested in starting in January, but realize it has to be done. Leeks are a great choice because we can set them and forget them for the most part, so long as we don't let them dry out and go into a wilting stage. If you are looking to grow celery or celeriac because you're a masochist, or simply because you want some more flavor in your cooking, then now is definitely the time to do it. You can start it later, but here's the thing. If you start these plants later, they tend to be stringier and bitter. Celery and celeriac have like the longest possible grow time or vegetative state on planet Earth. So that is why they are best started now, particularly if we want that tender, delicious, freezable version of the plant. If you've ever started these later in the year, you tend to get much smaller shaft sizes, which is always a problem, right, ladies? And then also the stringiness. There tends to be more string per square, I guess you could say, which is never enjoyable because then it's like water noodles. And while it's January and New Year's resolutions are probably flying around in your head, that's just disgusting. The important part with celery is that we need to serve them, sow them on the surface because they need sun to germinate. So they are photosensitive. The seeds themselves are. So we don't want to bury them in any way, shape, or form. We just want to sprinkle them on top, give the top a watering. That is enough underground for those seeds. And expect slow plus uneven germination. Very normal process for these guys. Next up is perennials and cold hardy. So here's the thing. If you've got woodier herbs like lavenders and rosemary, or if you have perennials that you want to serve a purpose this season or this year in 2026, the summer, now is the time to start them. You could also include artichoke in this. I know it's not really a herb. It's also can be a perennial in some zones. My zone, it is definitely not a perennial, but it is like an edible plant, I guess you could say. Those are all ones that you want to start now. And this has nothing to do with the germination time. They germinate relatively quickly, except for rosemary and lavender. There's a little bit of nuance there, if you will. But ultimately speaking, they grow very slowly. Their vegetative states are very long and but just long. They not take a while to get steam and become a usable plant. If you are going for these guys, it is not uncommon for the label to say vernalization, or it's not uncommon for you to be flipping through the internet and the internet telling you that you need to put these guys in the refrigerator or freeze them or something to that nature. Now, this is only the truth if the seed packet says it. Some seed companies do the heavy lifting for you when it comes to vernalization and even stratification. So unless the package says to do it, you're probably causing more harm than good. It won't necessarily say it's been pre-worked because it just doesn't. But if it doesn't say to do it, then don't. Just go straight into planting because that means the seed company's done the work for you. Do not start your cucumbers, your squash. A lot of the flowers on planet Earth, do not start those. It will make for not only a leggy plant, but a ginormous plant and a plant that's going to transplant poorly, have transplant shock, and pretty much put its life on pause from the moment you plant it in May until probably mid-June, which saves you absolutely no time because the plants that are smaller don't have as much transplant shock and they're just going to rocket off into the future. So keep that in mind. Sooner is not always better. It's actually typically worse. Your setup, if you're going to go the route of starting some of these seeds here in January, I heavily encourage you to look at proper lighting. These plants aren't going to do well on a windowsill. While onions, you could maybe get away for it for a period of time, you're ultimately going to need a grow light. So I would avoid starting these if you don't have a proper grow light yet. It's very important. And you want the light to be close, 2 to 3 inches from the surface of the soil or the seed itself. And then we want somewhere between 12 and 16 hours total light. So make sure you pop it on a timer. Fun fact, plants do not benefit from 24-hour light, even when they're seedlings, even when they're seeds. You want to make sure there's daytime and nighttime. Very important. Use a seed starting mix, not a compost-based mix or a potting soil. We want low nutrients because this low nutrients is going to allow for a more compact, complete vegetative plant rather than something that is leggy, overgrown, and more susceptible to disease and pests, which can become a problem when we are talking about keeping something indoors for several months. Now, if you want to learn more about the whole world of seed starting potting soils, then I suggest you check out this video right here. And that video is what Google says you should watch because they're smart and they're watching you. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.